Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Malinga Sise of Urban Harvest Organic Farm. For all of you who have subscribed to my YouTube channel, I am so grateful. And for those who are still new, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about fall typhoid. Most of you have really asked me to talk about fall typhoid. So today we are going to look at everything about fall typhoid. But before we do that, I want us to first go and collect the eggs because it's already getting late, and we agreed that we shall start collecting these eggs very early in the morning to avoid these birds from eating eggs and making them get used to eating eggs. So for someone out there who didn't watch that video, we'll end up following what I'm doing, like collecting the eggs late. Like I always leave the eggs to pile there, so someone will think it is it's the way it's supposed to be. And once you keep leaving the eggs there and your eggshells are soft, your birds will get used to eating eggs and you will not handle it. And I've also realized that my birds are getting old and most of their beaks have grown back, so I should also not take chances, because once they get used to eating eggs, trust me, it's a very big loss to the business. So that is why today we shall start with collecting eggs before we come and discuss about fall typhoid. But also, as farmers, we never get tired of work. This is the work that you're going to do as a farmer: collecting eggs, feeding these birds, cleaning the drinkers. So you should never get bored with doing all these things at the farm. So let's go inside the farm and collect our eggs. See you right inside the farm. Guys, today I mix for our birds turmeric, tangawizi, that is ginger, and chili peppers is what I've mixed for these birds. So you see all my drinkers. Halinga is really so consistent with these herbal remedies. So as I told you earlier on, today I want us to discuss deeply about fall typhoid. I have not discussed this before, but it is a serious chicken disease that can cause great losses in the project, and we are going to look at the signs and symptoms of this fall typhoid. We shall also look at the causes and the transmission in our projects, and then we shall look at the prevention and control of this fall typhoid, and then definitely we shall look at the organic treatments of the fall typhoid. And I'm going to give you quite a number of the combinations of these organic remedies that you're going to use to treat these birds with the fall typhoid. You must know that fall typhoid is a bacterial disease in poultry farming, which is caused by Salmonella gallinarum. It primarily affects chickens, but can also impact turkeys and other birds. The disease is highly contagious and can lead to high mortality rates if not controlled. So you must really make sure that you treat this disease once it affects the birds as early as possible. You must control it and protect your birds from getting this fall typhoid, because it is a highly contagious disease. And then what are some of the signs and symptoms of fall typhoids in our farms? You will see the bird will lose a lot of appetite, the bird will not be feeding. Those are one of the signs and symptoms of this fall typhoid. Then another one is the weakness and depression in a bird. You see the bird isolates itself, the bird will not be feeding, the bird is so weak, the bird is so depressed. You just know this bird is not feeling well. And then of course the bird will have the ruffled feathers. And I think most of these chicken diseases make these birds to have ruffled feathers. Last time we said ruffled feathers is when the feather is looking like a bird has wore a coat. So that is what they call ruffled feathers. And then in their dropping, you will see the greenish yellow diarrhea. When you see the greenish yellow diarrhea, just know those birds have fall typhoid. Just like in Newcastle disease, the birds will have the purely greenish diarrhea, that is Newcastle disease. And then in coccidiosis, the birds will have the bloody diarrhea, that is coccidiosis. So most of the chicken diseases, they also have the color of the droppings that they give these birds. So with the fall typhoid, the birds will have greenish yellow diarrhea, that is one of the signs and symptoms. And then the bird will have pale combs and wattles. Last time we said that is when you see the wattles and the combs do not have blood in it. Just know your birds might be affected by the fall typhoid. And actually also these other chicken diseases can make these birds not to have the blood in the wattle and the combs. And then the birds will reduce in production. That is if the birds are already laying eggs, they will greatly reduce in production. And then when you slaughter that bird, you realize the liver is yellowish brown discoloration. So that is fall typhoid. With the Gumboro disease, it affects the basal organ. So with this fall typhoid, you realize that the liver is swollen with the yellowish brown discoloration. So that is fall typhoid in these birds. Now, what are some of the causes and transmission of fall typhoid in poultry farming? The fall typhoid spreads through the contaminated feeds, just like any other chicken diseases, by the way. It also spreads through the contaminated water and through contaminated equipments. So when the sick birds use this equipment and you give to the birds which are healthy, they will definitely get the fall typhoid. If they feed in the same on the same containers, feeders, and they drink in the same drinkers with the sick birds, definitely the rest of the birds will also get this fall typhoid. And then also it is transmitted from the infected birds via their droppings. Once the healthy bird stepped on the dropping of a sick bird, just know that bird is going to get fall typhoid. That's why we say it is good for us, the owners of the farm or other visitors, to first disinfect their feet before entering the chicken house, because you never know, someone might have stepped on the dropping somewhere and will just enter your farm, and that is how it will take the fall typhoid inside your chicken house. And most of these chicken diseases, that is how it transmits from one bird to another, through their dropping. And these birds also contract the diseases through their feet. So when the bird stepped on the dropping of an affected bird, it will definitely get the disease. And then also it can pass from the mother hen to the chicks through the eggs. So that is why I will always say, let us be very, very careful with the suppliers of these chicks. Let us research about the authentic suppliers. Let us research about healthy hatcheries, because some hatcheries, they don't take care of them well. They have this fall typhoid in them. So that is how you will get the fall typhoid in your farm. And once you get it through the chicks, you might even end up losing all those chicks. It might be hard for you to treat those chicks. So always get your chicks from the authentic suppliers, from the authentic hatcheries. So that is the only way you're going to stop your farm from getting affected with this fall typhoid. And then another thing is that you must know that it survives in the environment for a long time, making it very difficult to control it. So make sure you always disinfect your chicken houses so often. So once you get this fall typhoid, continuously disinfect the chicken house, continuously clean those feeders, disinfect the equipment, disinfect everything that that flock was using in that farm, and make sure you do it for some good time, because this fall typhoid stays for long in a particular environment. So once your flock was affected by fall typhoid, before you bring in the new flock, make sure you take some time, like 3 to 6 months, before bringing the new chicks inside that farm. So that is the only way you're going to stop the transmission of this fall typhoid from one flock to the other. And then what are some of the ways you can prevent your birds or protect them from getting this fall typhoid? The first one is, of course, biosecurity. We have talked about biosecurity, and we shall continue talking about biosecurity. Make sure there is tight biosecurity in your farm, either inside or outside. Visitors, whenever they are coming to the farm, make sure they disinfect themselves, their feet, even the vehicles entering there, make sure you disinfect the vehicles. That is one problem that is really disturbing us, the poultry farm owners. You realize that most of the diseases we are getting is from the workers, from us, the owners, because we just come and we carelessly enter the farms without disinfecting ourselves. And then always isolate the sick birds immediately from the healthy birds. Once you identify a bird is sick, whether it is not this fall typhoid, whether it is any other disease, isolate that bird. Make sure you treat it very well, as you're also treating the rest of the birds. Always have a sick bed for these birds in the farm, so that once a bird gets sick, identify that bird, bring it out immediately, treat that bird. That is why I will always say, as a farmer, find time, go inside your chicken house, check around this bird, see which bird is not fine. Because our workers will not have this time to go inside the farm to check around. They will not even have that idea. But you, the owner of the farm, you will at least have that idea. And then please always clean and disinfect your poultry houses. Disinfect the equipment, disinfect all those drinkers, the clothes, the boots, so often, so that you avoid fall typhoid from happening in your chicken house. And then make sure you control the rodents, like those rats, like the cats, and the wild birds that can carry the bacteria. Make sure they don't enter your chicken houses. I know this is a bit hard and a bit tricky, because most farmers keep saying that it is hard to control the rats from the farm. Sometimes the cats enter the farm. And actually of late I've realized that there are some small birds that are entering inside my chicken house. This is really very, very dangerous, because these wild birds are the ones that can bring this fall typhoid in your farm. They carry the bacteria because they are not treated, because they are in the wild. So please make sure you construct your chicken houses that these rodents cannot access getting inside the chicken house. And then maintain the balanced diet to boost the immunity of these birds. Always, this will really make your bird's immunity strong and make them resistant to these diseases. Then avoid overcrowding to minimize stress among these birds, because once the birds are so overcrowded, they will be so stressed, they will be so depressed, the immunity will go down, and at the end they will easily contract these diseases. And actually, when the birds are overcrowded and any outbreak is in the farm, you realize that all the birds get affected. So please, let us construct the chicken house which is large enough for these birds. And we say for the layers, at least four birds in 1 square meters, and for the broilers, at least 7 to 8 birds mature birds in 1 square meter. That is the standard measurement for those chicken houses. And then for those who are going to still use the modern medicine, they have not yet embraced these herbal remedies, please vaccinate your birds, because if you're not using the herbal remedies and you're also not vaccinating the birds, definitely you will be greatly affected. So endeavor to vaccinate the bird. Now let us look at the organic treatment for this fall typhoid. Well, fall typhoid, most people say it is not curable once it affects the birds. You can try, they say you can try, but in most cases you can't cure it. Personally, it hasn't yet affected me before. And by the way, you can vaccinate these birds against the fall typhoid. But I'm also saying that we have some of the herbal remedies that you can use in your farm to treat this fall typhoid. But make sure that before the outbreak, you are consistent with your herbal remedies. If we keep giving these herbal remedies to the birds every day, as it is said or as it is recommended in this channel, guys, our birds immunity will be very strong, and we shall end up not experiencing most of these chicken diseases. And of course, with the biosecurity that we are always preaching about, we shall really eliminate most of these chicken diseases. Now let us look at the herbal remedies. Of course, you can I'm going to give you a combination that you're going to use in treating this fall typhoid in our farms. I'm going to give you into 3. The first combination you can use if these birds get fall typhoid, you can mix garlic with ginger and aloe vera. Mix them together and give these birds at least for 7 consecutive days. So that is the first combination you can treat with this fall typhoid in your farm. Another combination, you can mix the neem and the papaya leaves. Make sure that they are fresh, okay? Okay, the powder one, I'm not discouraging the powder one, but make sure that if you're getting the powder one, you get it from authentic suppliers, the people that you know they are selling for you the right thing. Because with the powder ones, someone can just mix, or some can just dry any leaf and will grind it, and you will not know whether this is the neem leaves or it is the moringa. So that is why in most cases I will discourage the powdered one. So if you can get the fresh neem leaves and the fresh papaya leaves, please blend them together. Give these birds for 7 consecutive days. This will help to treat your fall typhoid. And then the last combination, we shall need the apple cider vinegar and turmeric. You will also mix these 2 together and give them for 7 consecutive days. We have talked about all these herbal remedies except the apple cider vinegar, which we shall talk about it soon. But the rest we have talked about them, at least even the measurements, you know the measurements. Maybe if someone who is new, but you can use this combination in treating this fall typhoid. Other herbal remedies like the garlic, like the aloe vera can also work. You can also give them the guava leaves. You can also give them the cinnamon. You can also give them the cloves. All those herbal remedies we've been talking about, the basil leaves, eucalyptus leaves, all these herbal remedies can also work in the treatment of this fall typhoid. So for today, that is all I had for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for always coming back. Thank you so much for loving me. But if you're still new, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell so that you never miss out any upload. Share this video, comment in the comment section down below, and I will be so grateful. See you next time. I love you all. Bye-bye.